As a photographer, shooting wakeboarders from an inner tube is an amazing experience, but we've all seen images like this. I want to take it to the next level and do something that's really going to push my own portfolio and create something that I've never seen done before.
One wake-up call's a call for all to get prepped and dressed to trek to Jacob's Hall during light snowfall. In full they march 1 foot apart and squads from their quads. And the rhythmic is step and progression with each step in the previous step. Left, right, left go the orphan kids in this orphanage. When fate serves a cold plate, you end up here where when questioned the child would tell we're treated well. Each day a family interviews at least 12 with the returning few from the pack removed. These kids anticipating wait for the men in black suits, hoping to be chosen, but not really knowing where none of them are going. The black suits have selected the selected, then they exit out the exit as they venture towards the entrance to a sector that is sectioned into sections of deaths on which are kids and homeless men that they never met, with no explanations mentioned. The prompter says the sentence: remember, execute, forget. All smiles will unfix as they forward the deaths with the kids. Hear the click, clack, click, assemble the weapon to M16. Lock, load, trick, drip, one shot, one hit. Some are shot, some live, then they all here forget. The suits remove 6, they kill the remaining men, then the successful 10 will be tested again.
My whole thing is I love commercial looking images. I love to look at magazines and see images that sell something. And for me to bring that to an extreme sport really brings both the athleticism of these athletes together with the commercial side of photography, and produces something that I think is on another level. It's not just sports, but it's also a product. And I've always liked those sort of images. A couple weeks ago, I got to go out to Trophy Lakes and I was shooting their rail slide competitions called Wakefest. And it's really cool. You know, they set up a boat, they have a bunch of riders come in from all over the country, and they just do rail slides all night. I wound up shooting a little bit out there, and it's very difficult at night to have any control of the situation, and you have these riders being launched at you. So, very cool experience, but I wanted to do something more traditional with the wakeboarding. So I approached Dale Sleer, one of the better wakeboarders here in Charleston, about this concept that I have. I really wanted to do an Fstoppers video that showcased wakeboarding behind a boat, but then also some other element that was more of a studio shoot, and I wasn't quite sure at the time what that would be. But he was thrilled. He jumped right on board, and he wound up calling 4 or 5 guys to come down from North Carolina, up from Florida, really the whole Southeast. And we had 5 or 6 amazing wakeboarders come down to Charleston. My favorite type of image from the back of the boat is actually in an inner tube. Using an ewa-marine bag, so everything's set in the camera without external controls, which makes it a little more difficult. But basically you're presetting your focus, you're setting a relatively high ISO so that you can choose a high shutter speed, and at the same time get a large depth of field with a small aperture. If you look at my portfolio or pictures inside magazines, for the most part, the scenery changes, but the actual photography itself is very similar. So it really caused me to think, what can I do differently to make an image that really stands out with this same sport? What can I do with wakeboard photography that I haven't seen done before, and might be able to allow me to light in a way that's not as natural as you would have behind a boat?
About this is like the rope's coming in, and it's gonna be like a big U, and that's where I'm gonna climb up on the ladder, hook into it with the carabiner. You'll be able to hang upside down, hang around, do some grabs. The wake cord line is gonna be attached to probably an eye hook over there, where They're gonna ratchet it, and so it's gonna pull me forward, producing that stretched out look like you would get if you had tension on the boat.
We have a pretty elaborate lighting setup here. We have an octabank in the very back that's doing just a very minimal amount of fill. Most of the lighting in the front is being done by this beauty dish right here, and it's just kind of off to the side lighting his face. Then I have two kicker strip boxes on the sides that are really illuminating a lot of the water, but also giving that edgy look to the board and to the side of the two riders. And then way here in the back, we have a gridded bare bulb light that's also kind of kicking behind as a hair light. And again, it's just all illuminating the water. When you shoot water, you really want to illuminate it from the back. And then these guys have a lot of video lights set up, which makes this setup look even crazier. Luckily, we're able to use these really cool lights made by PhotoFlex that we can actually fit up into the softboxes of the strobes. The reason we're doing this is just with this much depth of field, the modeling lights on the strobe units themselves are just not powerful enough. So I believe we have two kicker lights on the video as well as a big square softbox here for the main key light. I think I want this rope coming more at me, so you may have to like hit him right here. Go.
Oh, that was it right there.
I shoot with a D700 usually. I like the look of that camera, but today I really wanted to be able to see my images as we're going through them on a big screen. So in order to do that, I'm tethering to the iPad, and right now the best way to do that is through the iFi SD cards. And luckily the D300S cameras have both compact flash and SD cards. So this way I can have a large image on the iPad so I can quickly see what the very detailed water splashes are doing, what the lighting's doing. Sometimes it's very hard to see that on the back of the camera. I am shooting 70 to 200 Nikon lens. I believe I'm probably in the 100 millimeter range, which allows me to get really far back and get a tight shot so everything's nice and focused. The trickiest thing with this photo shoot has been trying to get the water to look really good. So we've been doing a lot of splashes with big buckets, little buckets, spray nozzles. So several different things we've done so far, and it's turning out really good. These images look unlike anything I've seen before. I think these images turned out great. I mean, my vision was to shoot them kind of in a nighttime scenario with black background and a lot of hard light with water spraying, and I think they're really interesting. I really am happy with the way this photo shoot turned out. One of my favorite images I threw up on the Fstoppers website and allowed our readers to do some Photoshop to it, and I have to say the results are great. I mean, it's not what my original vision was at all, but it looks very commercial, it looks very stylized, and I think it's definitely a route that you could go further with this type of photo shoot. I have to thank everyone that was involved. There's no other way to do a photo shoot like this without having an incredible team. So I'd like to thank everybody that was involved, and hopefully, everyone was really excited to come back on another project.
The successful 10 progressed again, but their successful depend on how they conquest the end. Remember, execute, forget again, they're drifting and they slip right in. They get 2 picks them after getting 10 clicks, and each given tools they should use a ball with town fuse. 8 click, 9 click, 10 click, move. They shoot into this maze that they navigate with grace. All pitfall, tricks and traps are prey they evade. Then they come to a lake before the place they should be. They see lumber and debris that lay upon this beach. Without one word heard, they concur and agree before the bomb destruction blast. They must construct the ride with the tools and tracks they have to complete the task. One is built with master craft and sell a ride to the other side, and there they'll divide like the plan was devised. The first 5 will go inside, planting the C4 on the 3rd and 9th floor. In enters 2 more, 1 to explore and keep safe the briefcase, while the other seeks to face the help escape. 1 remains at the lake's bank for swift escape. 2 lay hidden for killing any that lead chase. They head back across the lake, successful mission was ahead. Recognition as a gift, successful 10 had made it in, but then they all hit forget.
Fstoppers is sponsored in part by Mountain Yeller. That's what we drink.
Why don't you take a sip and show us how good it is?
I'm good, man. I don't get paid that.